Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. And today, the reaction to Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Let me know in the chat what you thought. It's good to see lots of you already here. Hi, Harrison, Young Mason, VV Vlad, Drakar, the Shadow Claw, and William Silly back with the Community Shield. What are our thoughts? 3 points on the board. 3 points on the board. That's all you can really ask for. And look, I don't think the performance was awful at all. I've seen, scrolling through Twitter, I feel like a bit of an overreaction to what really was a good game, a good performance, and the final 10 minutes let us down and made it shakier than it should have been. Outside of our own corners, Nottingham Forest were not a threat at all. And I thought the system actually was quite good. We controlled so much of the game. But there is an ongoing issue of conceding goals at home against teams that we shouldn't. I don't think anyone expected Elanga to have the blistering pace that he did. But that's the only real downside of the game, on top of, obviously, Yuri and Timber's injury. But in general, look, I thought that the worst part of today, to be honest, was the absolute shambles outside the stadium at the start of the game. I've never witnessed anything quite like it. It was unbelievable. I turned up half an hour before kickoff, which I was later than I wanted to be anyway because the tube was bad. But I turned up. I couldn't even get to the gate. I couldn't even get to the actual part of the stadium that I was meant to go in at because of how chaotic it was. It was absolutely wild. So a shambles from Arsenal in that sense. We just need to kill off games earlier, simple. I agree, but also at 2-0, you just shouldn't concede. And, why at 2-0 are we leaving ourselves as vulnerable as we did from corners? Because about 5 minutes before the goal that we conceded, Forest had a very good break off the back of one of our corners. And in my opinion, at 2-0 up, you should be thinking, right, let's not let that happen again. And 5 minutes later, we did. Now, in fairness, we actually did change it, and we moved Saka back to pretty much the halfway line from the corner. He just got absolutely burnt by Elanga. Rory, I'm finally early. Really enjoyed the game. Good to see you, Tom. I did too. Any news on Timber's injury? We'll get into it. But the first thing to say is that anyone that you see giving any sort of actual information about Timber's injury is making it up. No one actually knows what the full extent of the injury is yet. So if you see people saying he's going to be out for months, or it's this, or it's that, we don't know. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good going down. Obviously, he got the injury at the end of the first half. He carried on at the start of the second half, but he went down off the ball, or he was in possession of the ball, but no one touched him, which suggests that it's kind of it's more than a knock, which is problematic. Obviously, Zinchenko wasn't even on the bench today either, which makes it a problem. But look, in general, people are hating on Kai Havertz a little bit. I think it's unfair. I think the one issue that Kai Havertz has, and he's going to learn, is he makes himself look lazier than he is. And so towards the end of the game, he wasn't pressing with the sort of intensity that you would expect from an Arsenal player at the Emirates. There was one moment where it looked, the ball was kind of slowly rolling out of play and the Forest player was letting it go out. And Havertz didn't sprint after it, and he could have done and should have done, even if he wasn't going to get there. And the crowd got on his back a little bit with that. But in general, I actually thought he had quite a good game. What about Kivior at left back? Well, that's the thing. We've still got options, right? Losing Timber isn't the worst possible thing to happen. We have Kivior, we have Zinchenko, we still have Tierney, and we have Tomiyasu. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate because he was looking so good. Do you think standards of play will be higher due to more competition for the team sheet? 100%. 100%. I just mentioned that in the match reaction on my TikTok. I thought Eddie Nketiah was really good today. He took his chance really well. And this is the thing. With competition all over the pitch, when you get an opportunity, you have to take it. And yeah, I thought Nketiah took his chance really well today. So that should elevate the level of everyone. You know, Gabriel, I don't think Gabriel actually got dropped tactically today. I think Gabriel was nursing a small injury, which meant he was only fit enough for the bench. But what it showed was that the team is capable of playing without Gabriel. He's under pressure. Everyone is under pressure. One of the only people I don't think is under pressure is Bukayo Saka. But everyone else, you know, Martinelli I thought looked really sharp today. But Trossard comes on and looks fantastic as well. He's under pressure. And it's good. It's good. Timber is vital for us. See, I disagree with that. Timber is very good and has looked very good since coming in. I don't think he's vital. I don't think he's vital. He might end up being vital one day, but right now, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to Zinchenko coming back into the team. I'm really looking forward to Zinchenko and Rice playing together through that left-hand side. Really excited. And I tweeted as well, I think Declan Rice is going to score a lot of goals this season. You know, he had 3 opportunities today. He hits the ball so cleanly. And there was one chance as well, which 100% he's going to have learnt from. It was in the first half, and Ben White made an overlapping run and got the ball in a really good position, and he pulled it back to an empty space in the middle of the box, and no one was there. And Declan Rice was a bit further out, sort of on the left-hand edge of the box, and immediately when the ball went there, he knew he should have been there. And it's small things like that he'll learn. He'll learn that as soon as he sees Ben White making that overlapping run, that's his cue to run into that space. And so, yeah, I think he's going to score a lot of goals. And I thought he had a great game as well. Palace away is even easier as Zaha is not there. Look, I don't think Palace away is going to be an easy game. Palace away is never an easy game. Rory, I thought you will not be live today. Nah, I said at the end of yesterday I'd be live. I'll always try and be live if I can. Thoughts on time wasting at home versus Forest? I don't think we did time waste at home versus Forest. If we did time waste, it would have been added on. So, Rory, for me, Partey is way too slow on the ball. Do you agree? Occasionally. There are times, yeah, where I think Partey could get rid of it more quickly. And there were times today, and this is how you know we're not fully at our best yet. There were times today where I felt there was an extra pass that didn't need to be done. So, for example, instead of going from Saliba straight to Saka, it would go Saliba to Ødegaard to Saka. Or instead of going from White to Martinelli, it would go from White to Rice to Martinelli. And I think when we're at our best, we skip that pass out, and it gets everything moving a lot more quickly. When did we time waste? Yeah, I've got no idea when we time wasted. Someone said it on TikTok. Sanga, welcome to the channel. I massively appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Did you see Ornstein's tweet about Tyler Adams? Could we be one of the clubs interested? Good question. Possibly. I just don't know where he fits at the moment. I think we're fine in his sort of position as well. And knowing that Jorginho's staying, I think we're probably fine. Why can't we ever keep clean sheets at home? So annoying. It's a mentality thing. I think it's a mentality thing. And like I said, if we'd been 2-0 up away from home, I don't think we'd have been caught out from our own corner. Because I think 2-0 up away from home, we'd be playing more conservatively. Whereas 2-0 up at home, we're pushing for a third. So I think that's part of it. And again, I mean, today it wasn't Aaron Ramsdale's fault. I thought Ramsdale had a good game. We're too complacent. Yeah, it's that. It's complacency. It's complacency. Saliba isn't under pressure. Yeah, Saliba's probably not under pressure. Do you know what, right? I think it's almost become normalised how ridiculous it is that Saliba, at his age, is literally like the anchor in the defence of one of the best teams in the league. Like, for a centre-back of his age, the fact that he's the one that looks the most calm, the most composed, and the one that arguably definitely never gets dropped unless he's injured, It's actually ridiculous that he's doing it at his age. It is ridiculous. Rory, David Raya was a 10 today. Yeah, David Raya was there. Player ratings. Yeah, we'll go through player ratings in a bit. I'm gonna get into Arteta's press conference after the game. So he was asked about the nervy finish for after our first half dominance. He said, "Welcome to the Premier League." I think that's the highlight. We were super dominant. We deserve to win the game. There's no question that we deserve to win the game. But when you're 2-0 up and you have chances to kill the game, and we didn't, we then gave away a very sloppy one. And after being there and having the corner and having the chance in the corner, straight away from 2 passes, you can see the goal. When that happens in this league, it's game on. Every team has the resources, the quality to create issues. And it was more about the feeling of what happened, because the reality is that we didn't concede anything. Running the clock down in this league, that's a very dangerous thing to do, but I'm very happy. So there you go. Saka won't get dropped. No, Saka would never get dropped. Our formation was more offensive, though. It was. Look, it's no surprise that when our backs were against the wall in the final 10 minutes, the first thing Arteta did was bring Gabriel on and move back to our standard back four and take off Martinelli. You know, we went into the game in relation to our team against the Community Shield, dropping Gabriel and bringing in Nketiah. That's a naturally more attacking team. By the way, as well as I think Nketiah played today, I think Gabriel Jesus would have been fantastic today. And I do think we are missing him. Ref should have blown the whistle before the Forest goal. There was a clatter of heads. I've seen the whistle blow for less. Interesting. I didn't see that from my end, to be fair. He was asked about Jurrien Timber's injury. So here we go. This is all we know about Jurrien Timber's injury so far. So anything else you hear is guesswork. He said he was asked if he was close to taking Timber off at halftime, because people have said, look, clearly Timber was hurt. He should have gone off at halftime. But according to Arteta, the officials, the doctors, they looked at him and were happy for him to continue. And he was happy to continue as well. But straight away in the second half, the first action he made a movement and it was a bit funny. So we took him straight out and now we have to assess him to see what he has. So there will be an assessment over the next couple of days. The assessment will probably be on Monday because tomorrow his knee will just be massively inflamed and they won't be able to see much. So I expect they'll do an assessment on Monday and we will find out later next week. Score predictions for Villa Newcastle. 2-1 to Aston Villa. 2-1 to Aston Villa. He was asked about Bukayo Saka's stunning goal. He said, from that distance against Matt Turner, it is not easy to score, but it was an incredible finish. And I thought Matt Turner had a good game today, to be fair. That one save from Declan Rice that Matt Turner made was fantastic. Why was Gabriel not playing? So there were rumours that Gabriel picked up a knock yesterday. And so he was... It wasn't enough to rule him out of the game. And obviously when we needed him to come on for 10 minutes, he could. But it wasn't worth risking playing him for the full game. And especially when now we have this, alternative system that maybe we'd have played anyway. Playing Partey at right back and having him move into a 3-back when we're in possession. He was asked whether it was tactical to play Partey at right back and have Gabriel on the bench. He said, we expected a game that actually happened and we needed somebody else there in the midfield to do what we have to do best, have more fluidity and occupy certain spaces in relation to how they were defending. I think it worked really well. So Arteta himself is saying that it was completely tactical to drop Gabriel and to start Thomas Partey. But there were rumours that Gabriel had picked up a knock. So we'll see. I'd say Arteta ripped into them in the dressing room. I think he'll have been disappointed with the final 10 minutes, yeah. He was asked on the momentum shift in the second half. He said it's going to be very difficult to dominate games for 100 minutes, but it is why we allow them to get some grip of the game because they create anything, but at the end of the action, the game changes and momentum changes and shifts immediately after the goal. He said the team have done that really well, but we have to be more ruthless and more clinical, which is true. We do need to be more ruthless and more clinical. If that game is 3-0, it's done and dusted. Where do you think Raya will find game time? To begin with in the Cups. Havertz looked like a liability. If we didn't buy him for 65 mil, people would want him on the bench. I disagree, actually. I thought, especially once he moved up top, once Trossard came on for Nketiah and Havertz moved up top, I thought he looked good. I thought he looked good. And he offers something different. He also offers height, which is in and of itself isn't enough to warrant starting. It's tricky. It's tricky because there were times where I thought Trossard would have been a lot better doing what he was doing. So, like, when he receives the ball on the turn, he can be a bit clumsy with it and a bit slow to then move into the next phase of play. And that's where I think Trossard's really good. But then there were other things where I thought he was more influential than Trossard would have been. So, any news on KT? I don't know. We'll see if Arteta said anything about KT. Obviously, not in the squad at all. There was a report today from Matteo Moretti saying that Real Sociedad are now closing in on a loan deal for Kieran Tierney. So that could be the reason. And we spoke about it on stream yesterday, right? Whether or not Tierney or Tomiyasu, one of them we assumed wouldn't make the squad. In reality, actually, obviously Zinchenko didn't make the squad, so who knows how long it's going to be before he's back. He was asked on whether his tactics are designed to identify solutions to problems from last season. He said, "That's my job, to create bigger problems for the opponents and the ones that they are creating us, and to play the best possible way to earn the right to win the game." He loves that phrase. And have the highest probability of winning the game. In order to pick the right players every week, not only to start, but as well to finish. And the players that came on did really well. He was asked whether Bukayo Saka has the makings to make one of the best players in the league. He said, "What I ask him and all the players to do is to be the best version of themselves every single game." And he said, "For sure, they will be better and they will compete better. They will understand how to get better and more efficient." He was asked whether Gabriel Martinelli's performance can be what we expect of him this season. He said, "That is Gabby." Gabriel Martinelli's assist was filth. It was absolute filth. I don't know if he 100% intended for it to work out as a pass in the way it did, but it was filth. It was filth. Thoughts on Martinelli being our best player, says Martinelli for life in the TikTok chat. By the way, I think Martinelli for life on TikTok is some sort of subscriber. So what an absolute legend. And I thought Martinelli had a great game. I did. He was asked how pleased he was for Eddie to get off the mark. And he said, "I'm delighted for him because he's a role model. He's a player that was so disappointed with the absence of Gabriel Jesus and not to play a final. What we did when he came onto the field was that he changed the game, and that's number one." And he said, "The way he trained this week, he was telling me, 'Gaffer, if I don't play, you are blind.'" So there you go. He obviously wanted to play. Did you see Marquinhos loan? Yeah, so Marquinhos to Nantes or Nantes or whatever. I never know how to pronounce that name. But Marquinhos has gone on a season-long loan. That was confirmed by them today. Selling KT would be a massive fault because he's the best defending left-back that we have. I actually think Kivior's the best defending left-back that we have. That a one-year goal ruined my FPL. Yeah, I brought Saliba in for Gabriel last night, and if we'd kept the clean sheet, it would have done so many things because Saliba would have got a clean sheet and he'd have got bonus points as well that he ended up not getting. So it was a nightmare. He was asked about the issues that we had getting into the stadium. He said, "From my position, I apologise to all of them for what happened. In relation to the club as well, as a speaker, we apologise. We will look at what happened, try to improve it as well. Thank you to everyone for the patience that they had. Thank you as well to the referees and Forest for allowing kickoff to be delayed so that we could have the atmosphere that we deserve to play a Premier League match in." And that's fair enough. Look, it was a bit humiliating for Arsenal, the club, but it is what it is. And then finally, he was asked how impressed he's been by Declan Rice's leadership. He said he's a very natural leader. As you've seen today, I don't know if it was after 2 minutes or 10, the way he's moving, the way he's coaching, the way he's integrated into the dressing room, I think he's enjoying his position as well. He probably should have scored 2 goals today, so more of the same. He's not thinking, he's just acting, and I'm really pleased with what he's done. And if you saw it on the TV, Declan Rice was singing North London Forever with the rest of the stadium at the start of the game, which I absolutely love. What a man. What a man. West Ham fans were in tears about it, but what a man. Havertz will be the worst signing of the season. I disagree, Stephen. I disagree. I don't know if... I mean, if you're talking about Arsenal specifically, then maybe, but only because Timber and Rice are so good. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be fine. If Chelsea get Caicedo and Lavia, we should be scared, or should we be scared? Not really. Do you know what? Right? Don't get me wrong. Caicedo and Lavia, two very, very good signings, of course, and it massively improves Chelsea's midfield. The issue is you can't play Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo Fernandez, and they're missing the link between midfield and attack. They're missing a creative attacking midfielder. They don't have one in the squad without Nkunku. So, yeah. I feel like Notts is always good against us, besides the 5-0 win from last season. Yeah, I mean, of the last 4, that's 4 games now. They beat us in the FA Cup. Then we beat them 5-0. Then they beat us in the Premier League, and then we've just beaten them 2-1. So we have a bad record against Forest. Yeah, I mean, it's not awful, but yeah. Timber or Zinni left back. Well, it seems like Timber's going to be injured for at least a short while anyway, so you'd have to say Zinchenko. Do you think we'll be closer to City or Newcastle? We'll be closer to City. We will be closer to City. Tommy is our new holding, someone who will come on with 5 minutes left when we're a goal up. Yeah, possibly. I don't think we necessarily need Tommy. To be honest, I was surprised that Tomiyasu came on for Timber. I thought it would have been Kivior. In all honesty, as soon as Tonali goal already, that is unexpected. There you go. Newcastle 1-0 up. And it is Tonali. Good signing. So far, good signing. I don't know who I've got playing in that game. I think I've only got Ollie Watkins in that game in FPL, so... Eddie is actually a decent backup striker. People need to stop the hate. I agree. And look, when Eddie came in last season, he showed that as a backup striker, he's good enough. And he showed it again today. Tommy is our most versatile defender, bar Timber. He is, yeah. He is. Do you think we can play the team that played today, but just with Zinni instead of Timber? Yeah, absolutely. Gordon assist. Fair play. Yeah, I answered that. I do think we can. And Tommy is indeed our most versatile defender. Can you explain FPL? Because I don't understand a thing about it. I mean, it's hard to fully explain all of FPL. Basically, it's fantasy football. You have a budget of 100 million. You make a team, a squad of players, and they accumulate points for things that they do in the game. The fogging right to play. Yeah, Arteta loves saying earn the right to play and earn the right to win. My wild prediction for this season is that Villa are going to struggle and finish below 11th. They look so vulnerable defensively. Interesting. It's the complete opposite of my prediction, which is that I think Villa are going to do really well. Tonali nearly scored again. Yeah, I mean, look, Newcastle away is a tough gig. Newcastle away is tough. Mark Goldbridge said we are Saka reliant. I wouldn't say we're Saka reliant. I'd say naturally having one of the best players in the league in your team, that's like saying Man City are Haaland reliant. They can still win games without Haaland, and we can still win games without Saka. He's just an exceptionally good player that we have. He said that in his new vid. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion, but I don't think he's right. I'm still a bit salty about Mudryk. I think he would be unreal with us. Possibly, but we just don't need him. Like, Martinelli was electric today. Kepa to Madrid, here we go. Crazy for them. But again, now that means that Chelsea are back down to having just one proper goalkeeper, and it's Robert Sanchez, who's not great in my opinion. Is there a Guest Laguna? There is a Guest Laguna. There is a Guest Laguna coming up. Eddie's mentality is very underrated. Always takes his chances without a complaint. Yeah, he is. Eddie's literally the big difference between Eddie and Balogun is mentality. That's the single big difference between the two of them. Eddie has the right mentality and Balogun doesn't. Do you think Zinni will start against Crystal Palace? If not, who? Depends if he's fit. If he doesn't, I mean, again, if he doesn't, I would have thought it would be Kivior. But obviously we saw Tomiyasu come on today, so who knows? Arteta is like my dad in terms of mentality side of coaching. He always says earn the right to win. Yeah. IMO, Ballo wouldn't do it in the Prem as well as Eddie. We might never know. The truth is, we might never know. Did you see Flo put the Arsenal starting lineup in his story? Yeah, I didn't see that, but fair enough. And Flo said, "Come on, you Gunners," on Twitter today. Well, there you go. I thought Zinni was supposed to be fit for today. So did I. So did everyone. But again, it's one of those, right, where because of the amount of players that we have, if Zinni isn't 100% fit, and I'm not even talking about recovered from his injury, I'm talking back up to the fitness level that you need to play, then because of the amount of players that we've got, he doesn't need to be in the squad. And Diaby has scored for Aston Villa. Moussa Diaby has put Aston Villa, has equalised for Aston Villa on his Premier League debut. So there you go. There you go. That is all of the Newcastle clean sheets gone, which is always good. And he's a good signing for them. Look, I genuinely believe if we had had the money to do it, we would have bought Diaby as a backup to Saka. He's a very, very good player. Do you think that the midfield three could play against the better teams? No, I think against better teams we'll see the system and the majority of players that we saw in the Community Shield. I think against better teams, because ultimately, right, the way that we play today, it is quite easy to expose it on a counter-attack. Because a lot of the time, if Ben White has overlapped and Timber's in the midfield, Saliba's virtually back there by himself. And so Watkins assist, vamos. And so it is. The thing is, Forest never really committed to any attacks apart from on the back of our corners. So I don't think you can play that way defensively against better teams. So I think we'll typically see our normal team against the better teams. Quinton Timber being linked to Arsenal, interesting. I mean, that would be fun. There is a guest Laguna today, Jake. Yeah. Do you think playing Zinni as a left 8 could help with creativity? I don't think so. Don't get me wrong, he's incredibly creative, but I think having him come from that left back position, otherwise, there's a reason that Arteta's not done it so far. What formation did Arsenal use today? So in possession, it was a 3-2-4-1. So in possession, we had White as the right centre-back, Saliba as the central centre-back, and Timber as the left centre-back. Although half the time Timber was in the midfield and White was overlapping Saka. Then we had... So Partey would move from right back into the midfield alongside Declan Rice. And then you'd have a 4 of Saka, Ødegaard, Havertz, and Martinelli, and then Nketiah up top. And then out of possession, Partey would drift to right back. Rice would move more central. Timber would move more out to the left back position. You had Saliba and White as the centre backs, and then the standard sort of front three. The boys paused when Havertz went down just before they scored. The boys paused when Havertz went down just before they scored. Not sure. Our depth is so good now. Already think about the start of last season. Yeah, exactly. Our depth is fantastic. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Guna, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path minus the Arsenal part of it, and you have to guess who that player is. Fastest fingers first. Al Nazir have got 2 red cards apparently, so there you go. If Zinni plays, who forms the back 3? Saliba, White, and Partey. No, so I don't think we'd see Zinchenko and Partey. If Zinchenko plays, I think Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White all play, and it's more like our old formation. Anyway, guess the Guna. This player went on loan to Birmingham City. They then moved to Birmingham City permanently. They went to Sunderland, Hull City, and AIK. Birmingham on loan, Birmingham permanently, Sunderland, Hull City, AIK. And Beast Destroyer is the person to get it first. Beast Destroyer. It is Sebastian Larsson. It is Sebastian Larsson. There you go. Sebastian Larsson. VV Vlad got second. Max Winfield got third. And Hi got fourth. And Drakkar was fifth. So there you go. Sebastian Larsson. Obviously, didn't play that many times for Arsenal. Came through, well, he joined us at the under-18 level back in the day. There you go. There you go. And, and guess the non-gooner. Guess the non-gooner. Get ready. Goal, Isaac, 2-1 to Newcastle. Goals galore in this game. Goals galore in this game. Guess the non-gooner. Started at Tottenham. Went on loan to Leyton Orient. Went on loan to Millwall. Went on loan to Norwich. Went on loan to Leicester. And has joined Bayern Munich. The Shadow says FPL buzzing, yes. And yeah, lots of you getting it. Holdini Guna Legend said he got Larsson first, but YouTube deleted it. How convenient. How convenient. Eli Pendry was first. It is indeed, of course, Harry Kane. VV Vlad was second. Jake Madaford was third. Beast Destroyer was fourth. And Emilio was fifth. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Congratulations to the winners. Look, that's going to be the end of the stream. I'm going to make a player ratings video. I will upload that on TikTok and Instagram and everything. And that'll be it. And I'll be back. Will I be back tomorrow? No, I won't be back tomorrow. I won't be back tomorrow. I'm going out to watch the Liverpool-Chelsea game. And so I will be back live Monday at 5 p.m. Back live Monday at 5 p.m. Hopefully we'll have an update on Jurrien Timber's injury. But until then, have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And please subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. Drop a like on the stream. And goodbye.